Hi everyone, I'm Riva, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to grow your own avocado seed with this little device right here. I'll put a link in the information for this video just in case someone doesn't have this and they're interested in growing their avocado with it. It's basically this little plastic device that will float in the water. It'll hold your seed. This particular one is called the Avocado, but if you go on Amazon, there's lots of different varieties and ways that you can use different kinds of contraptions and devices similar to this or otherwise. I'll also do a video some other time that will show you how to grow a seed with nothing but like toothpicks or coffee stirrers. But for today, let's focus on just this guy and what we need to grow our avocado seed. So first of all, we're gonna need our avocado seed. So let's just talk about this little guy first for what we need to do to prepare. When you're going to grow your own avocado seed, I just like to go get a avocado from the grocery store. I'll eat the avocado because I like avocados, and I'll save the seed. What you want to do is clean the seed off and, just with some water, wash it off and like dry it off. Give it maybe 24 to 48 hours to dry off completely. You can just leave it in a nice dry paper towel for those 24 to 48 hours. If you wanted to do it at 24 hours, it should be perfectly fine. I don't think there's anything exact about the 24 to 48 hours. Sometimes I think it's more of a, when do you remember to go grab your seed or have the opportunity to plant it? If you end up waiting a little bit longer too, it's not the end of the world. You can still use your seed. I would say if you wait too long, most people will tell you that it could dry out. So for a healthy seed, try not to wait, a whole week or 2 weeks or something where you're letting it super dry out. I'm not sure if it'll work or not, but I find the greatest success with about 24 to 48 hours of drying after it's all nice and clean. Now, what you want to have ready once you have your dry avocado seed, so mine's already been cleaned and dried, is a nice bowl of water. And when I tell you bowl of water, pick a size that fits your device. So I know already that this device is going to fit in this bowl, which is why I picked this bowl. If you're doing this with kids at home, or it doesn't even matter if there's kids or not, it's fun for adults. I recommend a clear bowl, so something that you can see through. So if you find one that's actually got no markings, nothing, you can just see through. What it does is later on, it's going to allow you to be able to see your avocado seed roots start to form underneath the water. And it's kind of just, it's cool. It's really fun to get to see the whole process as it grows. And the first thing you want to do, just let's get it in the water first, and then I'll give you kind of some background on what to expect and all of that. But what you want to do is take your avocado seed once you have your water first. The water should be room temperature. I recommend using tap water, like from your sink. Don't go using deionized water or water that you get from like a water store or that goes through tons of purification devices and filtration systems. The reason, unless for some reason, I mean, I don't know what everyone's water is like. So unless for some reason you wouldn't water a house plant with your sink water, I would recommend the sink water because there's lots of minerals and things in the water that are actually really good for your seed. They're nutrition. They're things that'll help that'll help your avocado seed thrive. And so this is Ranger. Some of you guys may already be aware. She's going to help out for today, huh? Well, thank you for helping, little girl. So once you have your avocado seed, you've got your room temperature water in your bowl. I want you to kind of take a really close look at your avocado seed. What you're going to start to notice is that there's a more pointy top and a more bulbous bottom. So what it kind of, if you can kind of see, there's even like usually a little circular area right here. And that's the bottom. That's how you know it's the bottom. The top is just really this pointy tip. It's a little tricky, I know, when you're first kind of not, you know, you eat a lot of avocados, you don't really look at them that much, but when you start really paying attention to the nuances of the seed, you'll be able to tell there's a tip at the top and then there's a bulbous bottom with this little circular thing. That bulbous bottom is what you want to put into the base that's actually touching the water. So your bottom is where you want to be having constant contact with that water source. And all you have to do, the reason I really like these for when you're first starting to grow your avocado seed, actually the first ones I ever grew were in a little cup with little toothpicks or coffee stirrers. But I know for someone when they're just starting out, if they don't have someone with them who can help them get set up or knows what they're doing, it can be a little tricky. And sometimes you can accidentally crack a seed and things. So I like these because they're really like easy. They're easy, they're foolproof. You know, anybody can use it and find success. Generally speaking, most avocado seeds should fit into this. You'll be able to know right away. I mean, when you take your avocado seed out, before you even go finish drying it out, you can test it out and see, will it fit? And you can already see, like, I'm setting it in here, there's no water. It hovers, I'm gonna hold it in. You can see there's my little bulbous bottom with that little circle on the bottom side, pointy side facing upwards here. And all you have to do once you're kind of situated like that is to set your device into the water. And it's just going to float. And you're going to see that there's a nice little ring of water around. I won't tip it because my mind went there and I was like, I could show you, but I can't. I will spill water all over my stuff. So you can get the gist of it. I have it sitting here, it's floating, and you can see that the tip is nicely being kept at the surface. That is where your shoot is going to come out eventually. And as you can see, it's clear here. Now, if there were roots, you'd actually be able to see the roots growing, but there are no roots because we just put it in the water. So let's talk about a little more details for what to expect in the weeks to come. Yes, weeks and even months and even years, but let's just focus on the next weeks. It can be a little tricky because when you're first starting these things out, you're like really excited, you want it to grow, and it's an art of patience because it's actually a very good mindfulness practice. It can take 4 to 6 weeks for you to get roots. Now, does that mean you can't get it a little bit earlier or somewhere else, maybe a little longer? No, it can fall anywhere in that range or around that range. It's really, there's a lot of factors. I'd like to say, don't be hard on yourself. This is an experiment. Think of it like a science experiment. Be very curious with it. Don't have high expectations for your avocado seed to, shoot roots in exactly 4 weeks. Just be playfully curious and keep checking on it, seeing what's going on. The best way to maintain these guys is usually changing if you have a bowl like this where you've got a good amount of water in it, and it doesn't have to be this big, it just has to be big enough to let that little contraption device thing actually float successfully. But with this kind of a bowl, I wouldn't worry about changing the water more than once a week. If you have a smaller bowl, I would say maybe every 5 days, go ahead and change that water. And again, room temperature water, just feel it out. I wouldn't put anything too hot. If you had to go one extreme or the other, I'd go a little on the cooler side than the hotter side. But, just room temperature, very lightly warm is okay too, but let's not get too hot. We don't want to boil the seed. Then the seed can't grow. So we want to change the water, 5 to 7 days, every 5 to 7 days. And what you want to make sure is that the seed is always in water. You always want it to be in water. So just keep an extra lookout. If you're in an area where there's a lot of evaporation that you're going to expect, then maybe keep an eye on it. You might add a little bit of water midweek if you're seeing a lot of water evaporating off and you're worried about your level getting too low and the seed actually going exposed without water for some time. If you've got a big bowl like this, put some extra water in it, and then you won't have to worry so much about that evaporation taking over and then your little seed being exposed to the air for too long. But the most important thing is keep that base in the water. And like I said, this little device really helps. When I show you the other video in the future with how you can do it with this little picks and stuff, it's a little trickier to keep it up. And so I really like how easy it is for the device to kind of give the seed just enough water, and you don't have to think really too hard about it. You just put it in and then it's all set to go. When you're doing this, like I said, 4 to 6 weeks out, you'll start to notice the roots start to come in. And I believe somewhere around, I don't know, 6 to 8 weeks out, you might start to see the shoot, the little stem coming up the top. And what I would encourage you to do is to place your bowl in an area that's maybe got some sunlight, maybe not a ton of direct sunlight, but just you have some natural light coming in the room. It's getting a little warmth, it's getting a little sun. And then that's just going to be helpful for it to grow and be happy and thrive. It's not an exact like numeric value of this X amount % sunlight or something like that. Just go to a space in your house that you feel like it's going to be safe sitting there. Put it where it gets some good sunlight if you can, and then watch it grow. And I think that's pretty much everything. You guys can always put some questions or comments, questions in the comment section if there's something you're curious about that maybe I haven't captured. But overall, it's a really fun experiment. It's really just, it gets really playful and exciting when you start to see the little roots start to come in and you start to have the leaves start to grow out and all sorts of other stuff. And it's worth doing if you've never done it before. Absolutely. And for people who've done it before, you kind of already know, and it's always fun to do it again. I'm going to do it again. So I will leave it at that for now. Again, any questions, leave me some comments, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and bye-bye.